Disney princesses are still popular among audiences of all ages, and yet they also have endured their share of criticism. Their united appearance in Ralph Breaks the Internet prepares audiences for an unforgettable comeback. Watch until number 1 to see why we can expect to finally see feminist princesses. If this is your first time visiting The Things, don't forget to subscribe and please give this video a big thumbs up. Here's hidden messages from Disney's princesses in Wreck-It Ralph 2. Makes fun of Disney princess model. What does it mean to be a Disney princess? This is definitely a question raised by Ralph Breaks the Internet trailer when Disney princesses question whether or not Vanellope qualifies as one of them. A BBC 2012 article questions the lessons young girls can learn from Disney princesses, revealing an important hidden message. Overall, Disney royalty can teach us a lot about perseverance and determination, as each one had to overcome a difficult set of obstacles. Earlier princesses such as Cinderella, Aurora, and Snow White have been especially criticized for being too delicately depicted. The article also brings up a great line that really emphasizes how tropes and models for Disney princesses have been forced upon Disney princesses. The saying is that Cinderella never asked for a prince, she asked for a day off and a dress. It seems that no matter what princesses want, whether it be a chance to live on land, save a parent, or wake up from a cruise, the early Disney model required this all to be accomplished according to a problematic and demeaning set of standards. Rapunzel's self-awareness in pointing out this model and its ridiculousness promises that Ralph Breaks the Internet will continue in the footsteps of Frozen, Moana, and Brave in showing us an alternative model. Internet antidotes. One comment that Rapunzel makes when she's confronted with Vanellope is asking if she's ever been poisoned. The implication of this question is that a princess might be defined by the fact that she has overcome poisoning, though this fact is pointed out as part of a list that shows that Disney is willing to laugh at itself for its past blunders when it comes to representation of women. It also causes us to think about how far we've come. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs came out in 1937. At the time, seeing a woman kiss 12 men as they left for work was cute and charming, having her downfall be the manipulation at the hands of a stranger who caused her to eat a poisoned apple was horrific, but in an entertaining way. Now these concepts would provoke so much criticism that would hinder a movie's success. The hidden message is that the internet informs us about problems faced by people whose voices have not always been heard. Having the princesses as part of an internet platform actually points out that the internet itself has contributed to how we have become more aware of harmful treatment of women and has now resulted in a lower tolerance to making fun of others' oppression. All good things. Passive to active. As soon as Vanellope appears in a room filled with Disney princesses, their response is hilarious, as it shows the princesses in an uncharacteristically defensive light. Instead of being victims of their circumstances and fulfilling the role of damsels in distress, they brandish weapons to defend themselves against the potential threat. We might expect that a room full of Disney princesses would adopt a much more passive attitude in light of danger and would call for help. This is not the case in the scene from the Ralph Breaks the Internet trailer. Jasmine uses her magic lamp as a weapon. Pocahontas has her wooden staff ready, and Cinderella smashes her glass slipper to use it as a sharp tool to protect herself. The princesses from the past have always waited for some kind of action or event to happen, but in the trailer we see these same princesses preparing to defend themselves and each other. This is definitely refreshing to see that princesses are no longer relying on men for their rescue, but are following new princesses like Elsa and Anna, Moana, and Merida for demonstrating strength without needing a man's validation. What was your reaction to these self-sufficient princesses and their reaction to a younger and less conventional princess? A man to save the day. Ralph Breaks the Internet is getting a lot of attention because of the movie's obvious self-awareness and willingness to poke fun at itself. It's easy to criticize the movie's choices, and it's even easier to criticize Disney because of its questionable decisions. It seems that the Wreck-It Ralph sequel has thought ahead and is instead using this crossover opportunity as a way to anticipate these critical remarks. While Vanellope is horrified by the classification system that the Disney princesses use, she ultimately finds common ground. The princesses ask Vanellope a series of worrisome questions to which she becomes concerned, even asking if she needs to call the police. Vanellope is showing the audience that Disney is aware that women should never have to endure the terrible treatment that they have suffered. It also suggests that putting up with this treatment is not an ideal princess-like way to behave. In the end, the princesses accept Vanellope as one of their own when she admits that she has also experienced that people assume that a man is needed to save the day. This alludes to the first movie and Vanellope's reluctance when she first meets Ralph. However, it also proves that Disney continues to follow stereotypical tropes for women in movies, but now they are aware and ready to poke fun at themselves. Most of the original voice actors are back. The Disney princess scene is definitely also used as a way to draw in an older audience, as it creates a sense of nostalgia. Not only is this a first for all of the Disney princesses to appear on screen together, but they are also all performed by the original voice actors. The familiarity of the voices definitely adds to surreal effects to the fact that the princesses we grew up with are all in the same room together. As awesome and exciting as this may be, it causes us to have to point out a darker truth behind Disney's classic princess voice, Snow White. Snow White's voice in 1937 when the movie came out is unofficially credited to actress Adriana Caselotti. Rumor is that Disney owned the rights to Caselotti's unforgettable voice and prevented her from pursuing a career after Snow White. It has been said that Disney claimed he wanted to keep Snow White's identity a mystery so that the fictional character would always remain as she is. It's terrible to think that Caselotti never achieved the type of recognition her talent deserved. Since 2011, actress Katie Von Till has been the only voice responsible to Snow White. Nothing better to do. Can we just take a second to ask about where exactly Vanellope finds these princesses? It seems that they are in some kind of dressing room, and when they first appear on screen, they don't seem to be occupied by anything. The princesses embody their demure selves as they sit around in full ball gowns. It seems this is the room they hang out in between their group performances, which is where we see them for the first time in the trailer. Belle is reading and Rapunzel is writing. Other than that, it's unclear what the other princesses are busy doing to pass the time. Jasmine, though sitting on a magic carpet, is simply looking at a flower, much like Tiana, who is just looking out the window, and Snow White, who is calling a bird to her outstretched fingers. Doesn't it seem strange that these princesses, supposedly known for their role in their kingdoms, are spending their downtime grooming one another and in deep contemplation? This might be another way for Disney to show that it hasn't represented femininity in all of its aspects in past movies, but it still feels like a missed opportunity. These princesses could have been showing off the diversity of their strengths and talents. Is Vanellope a Disney princess? Vanellope's first reaction to arriving at her destination is disgust as she says, "Princesses and cartoon characters, barf." Vanellope takes ownership of her status as a princess, and this brings up a great hidden message about Vanellope's contribution to the Disney princess legacy. When Ralph first meets Vanellope in Wreck-It Ralph, she's a princess in Sugar Rush, vying for a spot on the racing leaderboard. The only problem is that she doesn't fit in because she's a glitch, and this subjects her to ridicule. Ultimately, Vanellope learns to embrace what makes her different and unique and refuses to give it up. This really does embody a Disney princess's spirit, as she's determined, resilient, and compassionate. She also has faults that she embraces, as what makes her her. There are some significant differences though. Vanellope is not looking for any type of romantic love, nor is she ready to do so as she's much younger than the typical Disney princess. What's more, she rejects the stylistic tropes that princesses like Cinderella aspire to. She opts for a green hoodie over a pink hooped skirted dress. Overall, Vanellope is a welcome addition to the princess lineup, especially since she's a catalyst for causing the traditional princesses to question their problematic history. Disney owns everything. Aside from owning up to its sexist past and tendency for gender stereotyping, Ralph Breaks the Internet uses its trailer to demonstrate its wide cultural reach. Disney doesn't have the same usual copyright constraints that other movies have to deal with, and they're willing to use that completely to their advantage. There's no limit to the movie references Disney can make since they have bought and acquired such a wide array of production companies and studios. In one frame from the trailer, the viewers are confronted just how much Disney has to flaunt, as we can clearly see Mickey, the Millennium Falcon, a TIE Fighter, the Death Star, Betamax, Iron Man, Kermit the Frog, Dumbo, R2-D2, the house from Up, and more. These are just visible from one shot in the movie trailer, which only alludes to the marketing potential in a crossover movie like Ralph Breaks the Internet. Disney itself is relying on its capacity to band fans of multiple genres and generations together to accomplish the exact same goal of breaking the internet. After all, the movie's Pixar quality is not meant to stand in its way of reaching Disney-level successes at the box office, and it seems like there are no lengths Disney won't go to reach these heights. Merida cover-up. Disney's acquiring of Pixar has not been a seamless one, especially when it comes to the criticism surrounding Disney's appropriation of Brave. Merida was hailed as a female protagonist that did not have time to worry about romantic love, embraced her much more realistic figure, and was not confined by gender stereotypes. When Disney then proceeded to alter her waist measurements in preparation for her entrance in the Disney Princess lineup, they received a lot of criticism for their choices, including Merida in the Disney Princess scene in Ralph Breaks the Internet. Definitely demonstrates that Disney is embracing this heroine as one of their own, but they don't seem ready to put in center stage just yet. She's not seen in the first shot of the princesses in their dressing room and remains very much in the background in other scenes. Maybe this is Disney's way of trying to keep the spotlight off her, which will help keep them free of unwanted negative feedback about how they've represented her character. Twitter users were especially enraged by Mulan's missing appearance in the movie, as well as Ariel's. It has been confirmed, however, that all three princesses will stand along their cohort in the movie. Feminine undertones. Not only is Disney trying to take accountability for its sexist stereotyping in the past, it seems to also be promoting a feminist message. While Ariel literally gave up her voice for her chance at love and human legs, Aurora couldn't provide consent to true love while in a deep sleep. These messages continue to be reasons for audiences to question the message and precedent Disney princesses have set for their impressionable audiences. The much anticipated and highly popular scene of Disney princesses together on screen for the first time is also monumental for the decision to demonstrate self-awareness at how troubling some of these storylines are, especially in a contemporary context. Vanellope is the young heroine who points this out while bonding over the assumption that men are required to save the day. This potential for female bonding sets up a feminist undertone for the movie that parallels the strength of Marvel Avengers superheroes to the wisdom, strength, and resilience of Disney princesses. Who knows what stories could be possible when the two are finally put on equal footing. It also suggests that Ralph Breaks the Internet will be a departure from an outdated, misogynistic character model. And that's all for hidden messages from Disney princesses in Wreck-It Ralph 2. If this is your first time visiting the things, don't forget to subscribe and please give this video a big thumbs up.